Hit them fast, secure the bag. Don't even blink, make them off the plane. Light them up, let's make them sing. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. On Bucs, yeah, we on. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. The whole field's already done. Let me give you 55 reasons why this is our season. Palm trees breezing, opposing teams bleeding.
All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. Joined by my co-host, Michael Pless. Long time no see, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. It's glad to be back on here.
Hey, it's always a good time when you're on, man. So I want to dive right into it, and I'll try to get to some phone calls here at the middle of the hour here, and just try to get some fan perspective as well. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-1. And if you follow Bucs Twitter, you would swear to God that the Bucs are have only 2 wins this season or something like that. Just the way people are dealing with things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's frustrating. It's been frustrating for me. And again, I have to get this out of the way before we can get to the good stuff. But it's been frustrating for me. From game 1, Mike Evans is not getting the ball. And people are complaining Mike Evans is not getting the ball. Mike Evans is 580 yards away from 1,000 right now at this point in the season. 580 yards from reaching 1,000. And I said this at the beginning of the season with 100% confidence. If Mike Evans is healthy, he will get that 1,000 yards. What are your thoughts as far as that goes?
Yeah, it's crazy because like I was, talking with people last night on Twitter as well. It's like, a win is a win. There's no such, this isn't college football. I mean, forget style points, forget, and winning in the NFL is very difficult. So if you can win games, no matter how it comes by, that's the end goal. That's the end game. And the Buccaneers are 5-1 right now, first place in their division. Let's enjoy this. Let's celebrate it because this season goes way too fast to complain about how you win football games. Yes, the process could be better. Yes, the execution could be better. That's for all teams. So there's a lot of things that could be improved going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I brought KB on. This is not his name. It's what's going on, man.
Oh, not much. I forgot y'all will be on, so I figured I'd come hop on, say hi.
All right, I appreciate that. And kind of getting back to it, I'm really sick of the box score coaches that are saying this player is not doing this player is not doing this. I've heard a lot of negative things just throughout the season about OJ Howard, but what people fail to realize is OJ Howard had a catastrophic injury. I think Kobe Bryant had that same injury. I think Kevin Durant had the same injury as well.
Yes,
I believe
they both did.
And what they say, there's a statistic that 1/3 of NBA players do not even recover from this type of injury to continue their careers. And the fact that OJ Howard is out here running routes since game 1, I think he's been out there at least blocking or doing in some capacity on the field on a professional football team. The fact that he's able to do this, I mean, people just need to kind of relax. He's not getting traded. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be an integral piece of this team as they work him back into the system. Your thoughts?
Oh, I was waiting for Pless here. I'll jump in. Yeah, Kobe Bryant said that Achilles injury, RIP to Kobe, of course, but said that Achilles injury was the worst thing that's ever happened to him. When your Achilles pops, that little ligament just like swims in that area. It takes a full year if you're a top-notch athlete to recover. OJ has done that in under a year. People forget he was injured week 4, week 5 against the Chargers. The fact that he was even able to play, I don't think he played in a preseason game, but he was practicing right before the season and was able to play the first game, like you said, Gene. The fact that he was even able to do that is amazing. We all know the athlete that OJ is, and I know we flirt around with that word potential with him, but the fact that he's able to do what he's even doing and contributing with Gronk out, we should be happy. I mean, we're seeing what injuries are doing to the rest of our team. Why aren't we happy that we have this guy, even before he splashed on Thursday night, be able to be a contributor? That's what we need. We need people who fill roles and contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at, Gronk being out and we don't know when he's going to return. Having a guy like OJ Howard is vital because Cam Brate is not, what OJ can bring when fully healthy. And we're seeing that potential starting to come to fruition. And he's already passed the year mark since his injury now. So it seems like he's getting more comfortable. Coach Arians even says he's not 100% yet, but he's getting very close. And let's continue to ride that horse and just, hopefully he can continue to get better with, every week passing and get stronger. And once you have Gronkowski back, you have a hell of a duo right there where it gives you a lot of flexibility that we've talked about before, where OJ and Gronk as your 12 personnel, and you can have a lot of flexibility where you can use them in protection or have them go out for passes. So there's a lot of things. And then Cam Brate can go back to his natural slot receiver type, wide tight end, where he can move around and play different type of roles where he's more comfortable instead of blocking, which is not his forte. So yeah, I mean, the depth is critical. Same thing with Ronald Jones. I know a lot of people are talking about Rojo's usage and, the step up of Leonard Fournette lately. Rojo's, yeah, Rojo's going to be needed at some point in this season. Injuries do happen, especially at running back. So if Leonard for some reason goes down, you have Rojo there to step right in. So it's very important to have that depth.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard somebody mention something about Chris Godwin getting traded. I had to find a screenshot, but because he's not being utilized. And I'm like, dude, the Bucs won this game. The Bucs have won games. I can count 2 games that the Bucs have won this year that I can tell you 2017, 2018, they damn sure wouldn't have won. But what you've got here is a team, they're winning games. They're the defending world champions. Let's enjoy this.
And it's the power of media too. I mean, we've all seen this all over Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. Godwin, AB, and Mike Evans are all within 20 yards of each other. AB is just AB. That's why everyone's freaking out. Oh, Godwin isn't doing anything. Oh, Evans isn't doing anything. They literally have the same exact stats. AB just might have 1 or 2 more touchdowns. But that's going to balance out throughout the year. If they're all healthy, I mean, we talked about this preseason. I don't think any of them goes over 1,200, and I don't think any of them go under 1,000, assuming that they're healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I think all of them get, they're all on pace for 1,100 yards right now. It's going to be week to week thing where guys are going to eat, certain players are going to, step up depending on the game plan. Last night, you had, Godwin get his catches early, and then it kind of shifted to where it was Antonio Brown and mix in with OJ Howard. It's just the way defenses are playing us. Philly last night, they're a heavy zone team, so they're letting a lot of things underneath. So that is great for guys like Godwin and Antonio Brown. That's where they can have a lot of production because Philly just didn't want to get beat deep. And we saw that, so that's why you had a lot of time consuming drives, and it actually worked out to the Bucs' benefit because they kept their defense off the field. And they've done that the last 2 weeks where, the defense really hasn't had to play much. So that has definitely helped them out, as far as stats and being better overall.
Yeah. They've controlled the clock. When have we seen a Buccaneers team that could go out and control the clock? I mean, just in
6 minutes, Gene. 6.5 minutes that last drive.
Right, exactly.
And we just have not. We wanted this. I can remember me and Pless. We could go back to years, and Pless. We'd be like, if the Bucs can control the game, the fourth quarter with the running game, we can do this and this and this. It never came to fruition. But you're looking at it, you're seeing a lot of the things we wanted. I remember talking about depth on the offensive line, and look what we've got. I mean, I want to give a shout out to 2 people. First one is Donovan Smith. The run blocking has been on point. I mean, you guys can see, people can say what they want to about Donovan Smith, but I think what he's done with run blocking has been incredible.
Pro Bowler Donovan Smith this year. That's all I'm going to say.
And the next guy, of course, is Team Suckup. I'm going to have to say what's up to Ryan Suckup. The guy is going out and he made Bucs fans forget there was ever a kicking problem here, is what he's gone out and done.
Can I shout out another Ryan? Ryan Jensen. Did we see
yeah.
after that interception with Derek Barnett is going after Brady? Ryan Jensen comes out of nowhere, and that's not even talking about his game. Brandon Thorne, great Twitter follow if you want to look about trench warfare between O-line, D-line. He has Ryan Jensen as his center one, both last year and this year. And, you can argue with Corey Linsley last year, but I think this year right now, Ryan Jensen is playing to the level of the best center in the NFL.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt, he's been the top center in this league the last couple of years. I mean, he pretty much shut down a great interior of the Eagles' front four in Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave. So, yeah, the offensive line has been outstanding, especially the last 2 weeks. I think they've been dominant. There's only been a couple hiccups, and that's been by Alex Kappa. But other than that, I think they've played very, very well, and hopefully that can continue. Again, I've talked about it on my show. Talked about on this show, the offense should be the strength. It is what it's going to lead us, and it has continued to do so. And like you said, Gene, earlier with controlling the clock, I mean, they found ways to get first downs. They continue to move the chains. Yes, there's a couple instances.
Don't you dare say taunting. Don't you dare.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
The media loved the whole taunting narrative, though. I hated it when it happened because I knew the media would use that as the excuse.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's the rule. I mean, it's a stupid rule, but it is what it is. And you
had like
to
a 15-yard play the next play, but whatever.
Right, exactly. So, but just being able to control that clock and being able to do what we were supposed to do. Yeah, we had a couple 3-and-outs here and there. But you got to give credit to the other team. The Eagles made adjustments. We were trying to get some big shots in there. It just didn't work out. But this team makes the plays when they have to make them, and they did in that 6-minute drive. That's why I wasn't worried. I was like, it's 28-22. I'm not worried. Brady's going to close this out.
Yeah.
And he did just that.
As soon as the Eagles settled for that field goal that they missed, sorry, Gene, I'll let you go. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Once they settled for that first field goal that they missed, I literally tweeted GG. I knew that game was over. You can't do that against the Bucs. Right. They're like the Chiefs. You have to go on 4th down. You have to, do those extra miles. You can't settle for threes against this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Bucs ended up with 27 first downs in that game. And so that, that's just controlling. You're controlling everything. I mean, that's what a team, you want to see your team do. To me, that was a successful game when you have games like this. And I know a lot of people, somebody brought up a really interesting point. Russ Weeks, shout out to Russ Weeks. A lot of people were upset about kneeling with two minutes left and goal to go. The way I see this is how people get injured. You remember when Ndamukong Suh, I think it was 2019, Ndamukong Suh returned a fumble for a touchdown. And on the following play, somebody got injured. So Tom Bassinger.
It was Jack Sitchie, by the way. It was Jack Sitchie on the kickoff. He messed up his elbow, and that was the season. And that was the big LA Rams game where Sue basically walked off the win.
Yep. Me and him went back and forth about, hey, if he would have just took a knee, they could have did this and they would have prevented this injury. And I'm like, dude, you don't know that injury would have occurred. But in this instance, they didn't take any chances. I mean, like last year when the Saints tried to run up the score in the Bucs and they messed around and Michael Thomas was injured. And they're still dealing with that to this day. What they tried to do last year, they're still dealing with that. So I don't have a problem with them taking a knee. I think that was the most responsible move in doing that.
Oh, no doubt.
Ensures victory. The one thing that stinks, though, for all you bettors out there, my boy Kunal and a couple others bet on the over for Brady for 1.5 yards rushing. He gets the 2-yard sneak to end the game and then loses 3 yards and kneels. So RIP to all you, bettors out there.
Mm. Yeah, I had actually, speaking of betting, I had one of my friends bet like $20 on OJ Howard scoring the first touchdown, and he ends up getting $400 out of it. So,
good,
yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Steak dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm like, when are we going to dinner? I
want to circle back around to OJ Howard real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you impressed with his hands? I mean, he hasn't gone out in the past. He's tried to overexert himself and do more than what he's called on to do. But this year, he's catching the passes, he's getting down, he's doing what he needs to do. When he needs to try to fight for a couple more yards, but he's playing on a different level than what we've seen him in the past.
I'd argue last year as well.
Yeah. I think he's picking up where he left off. I think the focus is back. I think there's a lot of just attention to detail. I think that is putting into his game, and I think you got to give a credit to Gronkowski for that. I think OJ is really maturing as a player, and now it's just getting over that hump of the injuries. I think that's hopefully finally behind him, where he can just continue to do what he's been doing. And I love the usage of him and how they're utilizing him over the middle, with whether it be just short passes for, a safe dump off, or, in the screen game, a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah. He out physicaled somebody and just kind of set him on the ground. So, yeah, he's, again, this offense is doing what we've expected him to do. And I think the only thing that I took away from this, and to me, it's not a big deal because the Bucs won, is, it's 120 yards and penalties. Yeah. And it's something that they're going to continue to work on. I know that there's going to be that defining game where Tom Brady's going to bring everybody together and they're going to clean this up, kind of like what they did last year after the Bears game. So,
right. Two of those penalties were I think 100 yards right there because of pass interferences.
Yeah, the PI. Yeah.
But the refs are for the Eagles, from what I read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So, when we're going to stick with offense a little bit here, and then before we get over to defense, what were some of your big takeaways? What were some of the pluses that you saw on offense? And KB, I'm going to start with you, and then plus I'll get your thoughts after. What were some of your big pluses on offense?
To me, the biggest plus was the offensive line. I already shouted him out, but Ryan Jensen. When people have been talking about Javon Hargrave this year, everyone, and I know it's the media being the media, but they've been hyping him up to be Vita Vea. And while Hargrave has had a great season, he's not Vita. But the way Ryan Jensen basically handled him, he was throwing him to the ground, which for the NFL is extremely hard to do. So shout out to Ryan Jensen. And I know we haven't really talked about him yet, but playoff Lenny, regular season Lenny, Thursday night Lenny, whatever you want to call him, jump cut Lenny. This man just continues to surprise us because he's playing like Le'Veon Bell right now. It looks so slow and it's in slow motion, but it's working. And he's actually making good cuts now. He's reading holes. He's not running into the back of offensive linemen. He's that steady force that we need because we can't have Tom Brady passing for 500 yards for 17 weeks, and something bad's just wound up or is going to happen if you keep doing that. So it was nice to find balance. I think it started with the run game and the offensive line, allowed them to go to the screen game. So shout out to Byron Leftwich. It wasn't a perfect game plan, but I felt like the Bucs were in control the entire game. They had many third and shorts. Some they didn't, convert. And I think the last one was on Brady, the one where he overshot, I think, OJ to give the Eagles one more chance to make it 28-22. But, overall, it was just a good, solid offensive performance.
Yeah, I totally agree. You're spot on with that. Plus, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, KB said a lot of good things there. I think the fast start was very nice to see. Yeah, just coming out, with good execution, good pace and tempo, utilizing the run game and the play action, using multiple receivers and pretty much spreading the ball around. That, Tom does that pretty much every week. But it was just a good execution and get a fast start, get the lead going into the halftime. You're up 21-7. And from there, they pretty much, control the game. And then in the second half, they get that early touchdown and go up 28-7. And from there, it was pretty much case closed. But the offensive line, I thought, again, was dominant. They had a great game. And then obviously all season, Lenny played very well. As far as just the balance and him being reliable as a receiver, I think has really taken this offense to the next level. The run game, it is what it is. Again, he misses a lot of holes from time to time, but his receiving ability has really taken this offense to that next step because of what he can do once he is in space. So that was really nice to see. And then just again, clock control, that was really nice. Again, another game where it was, I think, 37 minutes plus of time of possession. So really good job. And only one turnover too, which was pretty much a punt.
Yeah.
A punt, I think. So
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
yeah.
For me, the one thing, and plus, I'm going to kind of piggyback off what you were saying. Um, Leonard Fournette is just, he doesn't look like the running back we saw last year when he first came to Tampa. The one thing I've noticed about him, he's more of a punishing runner. I mean, he's laying his shoulders down, and when these guys are tackling him, they know that they tackle Leonard Fournette. It's not like they just, they get him down and he goes down easy. I mean, when he's running, he's laying his shoulder down and he's becoming that punishing runner that we saw in Jacksonville.
He's getting there. He still needs to finish a little bit more, but yeah, he is starting to finish his especially on the catching side of things. He is finishing when he catches the football. I just wish he would do it more with his runs. Sometimes he tends to run away from contact. I would just like to see him be a little bit more north and south. I think he could get even more yards. When you see his longest run so far this season, it's just been when he goes north and south.
Right.
So hopefully that is something that they work on and continue to get better at.
Yeah. And, you just kind of have to be excited about that. I don't know where we are with Gronk. I would say you would probably, if it were me, I would rest Gronk until after the bye. And then you bring him back after the bye just to make sure, he's 100% or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I think that the offense is doing a great job. And, kind of going back to my original point, we didn't see a lot of Chris Godwin in that game, but that's okay. You're going to see Chris Godwin. He's going to get his touches. AB is going to get his touches. Mike Evans is going to get his touches. OJ Howard is going to get his touches. I mean, it's not all they're going to go with the hot hand. Whoever's sexy this week, that's who they're going with. And that's pretty much what it is. And, people have to be excited about wins. It should be about the wins and losses, not so much statistics, except for Mike Evans, because I do want Mike Evans to get that 1,000 yards more than anything. So real quick, I do want to jump over to the defensive side of the ball. And I want to start with the secondary. And I do want to shout out the secondary. The secondary has been doing what they can do, with the level of talent that they have. And the fact that the Bucs are 5-1 with all the injuries that they have, people need to take that into consideration. You're not going to get shutout games. Shutout games are very rare. Your team needs to go out and execute and do what they need to do. Again, the front four, basically the defensive linemen and your linebackers are taking care of business, and it's taking a little bit of pressure off of the secondary as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I thought it was a better game plan last night. I thought they did a lot of good things where, going into the game, I was concerned about Devontae Smith having a big day, and they pretty much shut him down for the most part. Jamel Dean, I thought, played really, really well. Yes, he had the unfortunate pass interference. Again, that was a tough call. The ball was underthrown. He was, running behind the receiver. It was just a tough incident there, but he did very well. And then the other guys, stepping in for Richard Sherman once he went down. D. Delaney, I thought, did good things. Ross Cockrell had a chance for a pick six. Got to catch the football.
Yeah.
So
he's not a wide receiver, right?
Yeah, and obviously, and Jordan Whitehead and Mike Edwards, I thought, did a lot of good things too. They used Whitehead more closer to line of scrimmage, like I wanted to. Didn't use him as a linebacker, I don't think, as much. They did do some dime packages, I think, only for like 6 snaps, but it was an improvement, and they pretty much rattled Jalen Hurts. They kept him inside the pocket for most of the game.
They set the edge too. They
really, I mean, for outside of a few times where they let him run around, but there was pretty much, it was a good defensive performance. I'm not too I can't get upset about it. I thought they did really well, and forced turnovers and did what they had to.
Yeah, KB.
2 words: Jamel Dean. I never want to hear anyone bash him again. So basically, with Dean, with me, it just comes down to, people need to remember at this point in Jamel Dean's career, Carlton Davis, what do we hear about him? He's too handsy, doesn't play the ball, and all of these other, too many pass interference penalties. That's where Dean's at right now. And you know what? The difference between him and Davis at this point in his career is Jamel Dean's way faster. Jamel Dean is going to be fine. He's going to have his ups and downs. Remember, he only really played last year as a consistent starter. In 2019, he came in halfway through the year after we cut Hargraves, notoriously got destroyed by the Seahawks, and then has steadily gotten better since. Jamel Dean is what you want in a number 2 cornerback. You're not going to have Jalen Ramsey and prime Richard Sherman on your cornerback slots 1 and 2. No team is going to do that. You have to have some give and take. And Jamel Dean is great number 2, number 3, depending on how SMB is and whether he starts outside, moves inside, whatever that case may be. Jamel Dean, I thought, had a great game. He's just been struggling with, giving up those big plays for touchdowns. But, it's like an offensive line play. You give up 1 sack, that's all anyone can talk about. You give up 1 touchdown, that's all anyone can talk about. But then additionally, I think the defensive line set the tone. Shaq Barrett was borderline unblockable.
The invisible Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, you mean the one who doesn't get sacks, but basically made Jalen Hurts run like he was Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. But it started with up front. I thought the defensive line did a great job. I think we're seeing with Devin White, he's just not. He's more complete when Levante David's next to him, but I think he's made some steady progress. I think this time last year he'd be a little bit more of a wild card. Pless and Real Bucs Talk, they do a great job each week on breaking down Joe Tryon. I can't wait to see that video this week. But for Tryon, the play that I just vividly remember most was he played a spy on Hurts and chased him to the sideline before he got a first down. It was beautiful. I didn't think Bowles would play spies. It makes me encouraged because that's the only type of quarterback I feel like when the Bucs are healthy could struggle against, someone who can get outside the pocket and run for those first downs. And that just encourages me because, there's going to come a time where it's going to be Tryon, it's going to be White playing those spies against, the Kyler Murrays, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens. You need someone like that. And it was nice to see not one, but both of them do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Justin Fields next week, you're going to have to, have contain and spies in there. And I was telling, Mark that, yesterday all night, I was like, just spy Jalen Hurts and just watch where he goes. I mean, he's not throwing the football with timing. He's just going to try to run around. So have a spy there and attack him.
And he doesn't
Vita
have
Vea, the best spy in the league. Vita Vea is going to be shadowing Fields. That's all I'm going to call. He drops in coverage. Might as well spy him.
Let's do it. He can run around and get him.
You guys, me and Pless, I remember the draft, and we were like the minority. We were the minority. We were getting roasted on social media because we were big on Vita Vea, and we talked about him for a few weeks before the draft, and there was other players that Bucs Nation wanted, but we felt like, hey, Vita Vea will be a good fit for this Buccaneers team. And it's just, he's exceeded my expectations personally from that time when he was drafted up till now. He's exceeded my expectations. I expected him to be that space eater, that run stopper, but athletically what he can do. And then you look at physically what he can do, where he can just put his arm out and stop a running back. If Stopped in Your Tracks was a person, they would have had that picture, that video would have been up last night from him stopping the running back.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's a force. He's a beast. I mean, it's a big reason why I was on his bandwagon back early 2018, back in January before the draft. And like, this dude, you don't find people like this. This guy's a unicorn. He's not human, built from Krypton or whatever, Superman land. I mean, he just, he's a beast, and it continues to get better with more reps weekly. So hopefully he continues to, just do what he does, and that's, make things easier for others.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and KB, what are your thoughts? I mean, what did you think of the defense overall, your overall grade on the defense?
I think it's B minus, passing. They did great. Second half obviously could be better, but we know Bulls, I mean, they're playing some, coverage, not playing as tight as they were in the first half, which led to some of those penalties, which I think that's the only reason why the Eagles were able to even score in the first half. I think it was just a definitely passable grade for a Thursday night game. You really only have as a player 1 day of mental reps. So I think that's all we could have asked for. The away team, as we said on Wednesday, Gene, loses more often than not on Thursday night. So we went into a hard place to play, which is Philadelphia, against a dynamic quarterback, did what we needed to do, got out with W with very minimal injuries. I mean, Sherman got a hamstring, but hoping he's back by at least New Orleans. If not, he's going to be another one that's going to come back after the bye.
The beautiful thing about and don't take this the wrong way, but with the secondary injured the way they are, these are players that are getting very valuable playing time right now. And I believe that they're going to be a factor when we get to the back end of the season and even possibly going into the playoffs. These guys may have to contribute. So these valuable reps and snaps that they're getting right now are really going to be beneficial. And then once you get your starters back, you still have these guys that have gotten a chance to play during the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the depth should be better. Obviously, you're getting some guys in here. Obviously, D Delaney is getting a lot of valuable experience, and then Jamel Dean, pretty much being the cornerback one right now. So, yeah, this is kind of a blessing in disguise, but we're just gonna have to see how it plays out. Hopefully, when everyone's healthy, Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy Bunting, and you can get Richard Sherman back, then you have really a formidable group there with, Davis, Dean, Bunting, and then Sherman as potentially your fourth corner. That's pretty good. And then you could maybe have Pierre Desser or Ross Cockrell. It'd probably be Cockrell, I'm sure, because he's got tenure. But yeah, you got a deep group after everyone comes back. Again, there's going to be cuts made, so some of those guys might be on the way out. But right now, it's looking good. The biggest one, obviously, is Antoine Winfield coming back. That's going to be huge. I think he'll be back next week, I think.
Arian said he believed he'll be back.
Yeah, so hopefully he can be back, and then we can hopefully see some of the things that I want to see, where we play some money backer with Jordan Whitehead and maximize the speed on the field, get Devin White in there as a blitzer, let Whitehead cover underneath, and let's make some things happen that way. Get Kevin Minter out of the game, and let's see what we can do there.
Amen.
Yeah.
Baby.
So what is the story on Levante David? Where is he? How far out is he?
I would rest him. I would just let him wait till after the bye. Yeah. Same. Pretty much everyone. I would just keep him out until the bye week. I mean, Winfield obviously will be back, but I would take your time with the other guys. Again, the offense is pretty much healthy. Let them carry the load and let them carry the baton and win you games, because that's what they should do. And just make do with what you have right now.
Yeah. Stephen Glasker, I love talking with this guy. This guy's he's fun. He's fun to talk to. We'll have to get him on sometime. He said, I'm really glad for two things. The Bucs have 10 days before their next game. BA said he won't see them again until Tuesday. This needs a time off. This team needs a time off to heal and get better.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with that. That's almost like a mini bye, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So yeah, that's definitely a plus right there. And we talked about offense and defense. Were there any takeaways that you would have possibly changed or done different just kind of watching this game?
Well, I mean, obviously the execution could have been a little bit cleaner in the second half. Obviously you would have liked to just score a little bit more points and pull away. Defensively, I thought, maybe you don't have to change things up like you did in the second half. I thought they just should have just continued to spy Jalen Hurts. I think that really should have been just the game plan. Again, maximize your coverage and keep everything in front of you. I think that's what they did a little bit. Obviously Eagles got some runs in with Miles Sanders, but again, we were playing pass. So Yeah, I mean, there's always some things that could have been changed. Offensively, I thought they could have continued with the screen game and try to get things done that way, run the football in some different fashions. But you know, there was one drive where it was going really well. Then we had the holding penalty that kind of ruined the drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, not much to complain about in this one. It was a good win. Short week; those are hard to come by. You're 5-1, your first place in the division, and you're sitting pretty, going with some rest here coming up, much needed. So yeah, I don't see much to complain about.
Real quick, Buck Skull Gang is talking about Marcus May potentially coming to Tampa. Have you heard anything like that? Or
Zero.
I
Yeah,
haven't heard anything. I
no,
like I said, I think the team is fine. I think you may get some players back before the Saints game, because that is a division game. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think the Bucks are more concerned with limiting injuries and taking care of what they have going into the bye week. I think with the salary cap the way it is, I just personally right now don't see a move like that. I mean, I would be surprised. I mean, it could happen, but I'd be kind of surprised. The Bucks do not normally move like that this late into the season.
And about that Saints game, Bucks fans, let this team get healthy. If they drop that game, they drop the game. I don't care if Jameis Winston's eating W's all over Mercedes Benz or whatever pizza
Little
stadium
Caesars,
it's
I think
now.
it's Little Caesar
Little
Stadium.
Caesars Palace Pizza, whatever you want to call that
Yeah.
place. Uh, but what I'm saying is, don't worry about that. We lost two to the Saints last year. One in this probably the second or third most embarrassing game I've ever watched as a Bucks fan last year. Don't worry about that. If they win, they win. The Bucks are in great, position to still win the division without all of the issues that they've dealt with. And not only that, still in contention to be the number one seed. So just get to the bye, get healthy. Probably worst case go 1-1 the next two games. I don't see them going 0-2. So just get through these games, get to the bye. One thing I do want to point out though is, plus I can't wait for you to release that film on Tryon, because one thing that I noticed the past two games is I don't think JPP is effective right now, and I think Joe Tryon needs to be the starter while JPP heals up and maybe spells. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. It looks like when Joe Tryon Shrink is in there, he's making some type of impact. So definitely the athleticism, the speed is definitely greater than what JPP is showing right now. But like Bruce Arians says, there's more to just pass rushing. So maybe that is something that maybe they're favoring a little bit too much, in my opinion, when it comes to just being balanced against the run and the pass. This is a passing league, so I think it's more important to affect the quarterback. I think we all agree on that. But yeah, I mean, Tryon, he's getting better, week in, week out. If you guys have been watching the
Oh,
videos,
absolutely.
so you know, and the snaps I think will increase as we get through the season, but JPP is still a very good player, even if he is only, 75-80% healthy.
And that's
But
my only thing is I just want to preface this. JPP, if 100% healthy, I think should be the starter and play the majority of snaps. I just don't think he's there right now. I think that club is hindering him a lot. I don't think it looks like he's just not getting leverage. Him and Devin White on a couple plays last night were like,
yeah,
are not arguing with each other, but JPP kind of like let him know, hey, like I messed up there, like not keeping contained. I mean, it's just, I think that he's just dealing with some things, and obviously he's a tough SOB. No one's
right.
trying to say he's not tough. What that guy plays through, I couldn't even get out of bed. So I'm just prefacing that again. This will be a completely different team, like last year after the bye. Get to the bye, get healthy, use these 10 days. We'll see who comes back, but just get to the bye.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, Buck Skull Gang, just to kind of address what you're talking about, it looks like the Rams are in the picture too. I think the Rams have a better salary cap situation than the Bucks do. Again, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, we just kind of roll with what we have. Because I don't see these guys. Your starters are not going to be out forever, and I just don't see that happening right now. It's just, I mean, he's a good player. I mean, it would be cool if they get him, cool, but I just personally don't see it.
Yeah,
No,
I'll just
they love Edwards. They're
Ye-
not gonna. Marcus May would be safety 4. Why would you do that?
yeah, they're just not gonna bring in a guy like that, and they're not gonna make any trades this at the trade deadline. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just not gonna happen. We're not gonna make any trades. I just don't see it happening. They like who they have in the building, and it's tough when you make trades for guys. You got to have, that player needs to have like some type of background or connection with the coach or the team so they can come in and learn quickly, and it would just be a whole process, and I just don't see them making that type of transition for a player like that.
Speaking of trades, though, I think the Cardinals made a good one. I think we're going to have to wait a couple weeks for Zach Ertz to make a true impact because, again, like Bus is just speaking to, I mean, he has no familiarity with Cliff Kingsbury and their system. It's going to take him a little bit to learn that playbook.
Right.
But those are the types of moves I see the Rams, the Cardinals, I would say the Seahawks, but they're kind of out of it. But remember, the Rams have no draft picks. Really, they've traded all those first. I mean, if you start training second, third, fourth, you really don't have a draft class, and that's your cheap talent. And the Rams, I think their defense are focused mainly on just being Jags, just another guy for anyone that's not Ramsey and Donald, excuse me, because their team is just built around those two players, and they have basically nobody linebackers, nobody safeties. They can get by just fine.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Ramona K, who listens to the show, she finally called in. She won a beat down in the base shirt, Smack Apparel. Shout out to Smack Apparel. Love what you guys do. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Ramona, for checking us out. Again, you're always appreciated as well. Again, to just kind of reiterate what I was saying, I just, like you said, Ples, I don't see Tampa doing something like that this late in the season. I think
Yeah.
you got
Sherman was desperation.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And I mean, he makes a good point. I mean, Marcus May did play with Todd Bowles, but I mean, I just don't see him, utilizing resources to, to bring a guy like that in, at this point of the season, especially when you have, good enough safeties. I mean, Jordan Whitehead's underrated, and then you have Winfield coming back, especially, and then Mike Edwards as well. They like that group. I don't think they're gonna, jeopardize that.
Yeah, you wouldn't mess up the chemistry on that.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Vlog, hey, thank you so much for checking us out. Greatly appreciated. Eagles fan in the house. You're, again, the Eagles in a tough division. They're in a dogfight trying to win their division. So, I think you got the right quarterback. I just think that you need a little bit more maturity out of him, and maybe another wide receiver. I don't know, and I think the defense, just you're missing some pieces, but you're on the right track, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was on an Eagles show Tuesday, and I almost got the score prediction right. I predicted
You missed it by a field goal, didn't you?
I missed it by 2 points. I said 28-24, and it was 28-22. So, and I think I did say Tom Brady with 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I was just off
2
on that
yards
one.
off.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I guess I was having some magic in that show, I guess. Yeah, the Eagles are a good team. I think they're an up and coming team. They just got to figure out who they are offensively, figure out how they want to really utilize Jalen Hurts the right way. And then defensively, I think they just need a couple more pieces, especially in the linebacking core, where they could, definitely be a team that maybe could be something next season. I don't know if it'll be this year.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed. I was really hoping they would let Zach Ertz play against the in that Cardinals with the Cardinals on Sunday. That'd have been kind of cool for fantasy owners, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but he would never play just for playbook reasons. That's the only sad thing.
Yeah, but it would have been kind of cool to see that.
But again, that's a smart personnel move. I mean, they just lost Max Williams, so you go out and you get a good tight end that could be a potential upgrade and give you more
What
flexibility
did
in that
they
offense.
get? What did they get for him? For
5th round pick and a corner that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, you got Zach Ertz for a 5th round pick. That's pretty good.
When you
That's
have
like,
a window,
that's like JPP
that's
for a
the
3rd
key.
round pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're in a window. Like the Cardinals, I don't think the most optimistic Cardinals fan would have guessed that they'd be 5-0 right now. And they're going to be without Chandler Jones on Sunday. They're dealing with some stuff. So I mean, they need every little piece of help in that division. Even with Russell Wilson at whatever, if he does come back,
I think he's
the
on
Cardinals
IR,
are going to
isn't
have
he?
to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is because they're in the same division, I mean, heck, he might come back at the end of the year and the Cardinals might need that win and they're playing Russell Wilson.
This is true.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a very tough division. The Rams and the Cardinals are probably going to beat up each other. And
then
the 49ers, what if Trey Lance, just needs 3, 4, 5 weeks?
Right. Yeah, he starts to get going. You see the potential there. They got the defense, obviously. They gave the Cardinals a tough time. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be one that beats each other up. So I guess that's, in a way, it's good news for if you're a Bucs fan.
So we've kind of weeded out the contenders from the pretenders a little bit. In the NFC, who are your top 3 teams in the NFC, plus?
Well, obviously I'm going to say the Bucs, and then, I think the Cowboys are for real. I think they figured out defensively what they had to do. Offensively, I think it's a juggernaut, especially when that offensive line is good enough. Dak is on what he needs to do, and then obviously Ezekiel Elliott running the football. And then my 3rd team, I would say the Cardinals. I like how they play. And then close after that would be the Rams. I think all those teams are right neck and neck with each other. So very good football teams.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. KB, who are your top 3 for the NFC?
I can't agree. I see the Cowboys are so tricky to me. They've had, I wouldn't say an easier road to their record. But the Panthers completely laid an egg. Christian McCaffrey didn't play. They've had some things go their way. I think their offense is obviously top notch. Love Dak. The only thing I would probably switch in there is the Rams. Obviously, what they did to the Bucs, not many teams in this league can do. So I would have the Cowboys on that outside looking in, maybe top 5 in the NFC. And I still don't want to discount the Packers.
Right.
I mean, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers the Bucs can put up 30 every game. Those two can put up 30 every week as well. Just those two. So as long as they're healthy, remember they're without David Bakhtiari as well. I just don't think you can ever count out the Packers as long as Aaron Rodgers proved that week 1 was, out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and I hate this. I got to give the devil his due because I've got the Bucs, I've got Dallas, and I've got the Rams. Personally, I think the Rams. I think the Rams return the favor the next time they play the Cardinals. Personally, I've been a huge Kyler Murray fan since watching him against Alabama, and I've always thought that this guy is a fighter. And everybody talks about his size and he's short and he can't do, but he goes out there and plays and. He's a nightmare for defensive coordinators. So I believe that the Cardinals can do well, especially with the defense playing the way they've been playing. Buda Baker has been playing lights out for the Cardinals. And you look at their secondary, it's a secondary that's quietly come in and just made plays. They've just made big moves, regardless of who they played.
I think the NFC way more so than the AFC. There's a clear top 5. I think 5 of those 6 playoff spots, especially now that the Seahawks are probably out of it now. I think you have 5 of the 7 playoff spots already locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously there could be another team that comes out of the NFC South, whether it be the
I
Saints
think
or
it's the
maybe,
Saints. I can't.
yeah.
I know we've been Gene especially has been talking up the Panthers. And I
Mhm.
don't think the Panthers issue is because they obviously have an easy schedule. I think their biggest issue is not necessarily Darnold, but having to rely on Christian McCaffrey's health. To me, that's a big issue right now. Each week he is questionable, and
Yeah.
that changes your entire offensive scheme if he's playing or he's not playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a top-notch player and elevates that offense to a different level. So
And
yeah.
and I think that's what why I was bullish on Carolina to begin with was Christian McCaffrey was healthy. He was producing like we've seen. This hamstring issue that he's been having over the years is just it just you can almost expect it at
Mm,
some point in the season, and it's a shame because he's a good player. I believe last year that the Panthers would have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs had they had a decent running back, back there. And not to take anything away from who they've had, but I just believe that Christian McCaffrey gives you another dynamic that you don't already have.
mm,
And again, I still think they're missing some pieces in Carolina. The fact that they don't consistently have CMAC, again, kind of drops them down a little bit from where they were.
mhm.
And when you look at the Saints, we've seen this story before. We've read this book, we watched this movie. You have a game, you have a 400-yard game, and then the next game you have 3 interceptions, then you have a very balanced game. So there's no consistency that I've seen out of New Orleans, and I think that's going to be the theme throughout the season. And I think the saving grace is Sean Payton is the head coach. And whether you like the Saints or not, you have to give the devil his due. Sean Payton has found a way to limit some of the mistakes that we would have seen from Jameis Winston. We see him kind of rear its head at times, but again, with Sean Payton at the helm, they've kind of found a way to work around that somewhat.
I
Mhm.
have a
Yeah.
cool little one. I would honestly argue it's Alvin Kamara that's changed Jameis Winston because it limits his opportunities to do things
There you go.
because Alvin Kamara is 75% of their game plan, and rightfully so. I know we just had our big rant about Christian McCaffrey. I think Alvin Kamara is the best running back in this league.
Mhm. Yeah, he's a big time running back, and it definitely helps Jameis from not doing what we've seen in the past, where he just implodes or makes bad decisions with the football. Obviously he's going to have one or two of those per game, but it's limited because of what Kamara can do and how they utilize him with the run game and the pass game. It just makes it easier for Jameis, where he's got that option where it's short passes and he has that outlet, so it makes it easier for him. And then defensively, they're still a pretty good defense. So I think you'll see them in some fashion at the wild card position, and then for the 7th seed, I guess you could have potentially another NFC West team, or maybe it'd be Minnesota if they can find their themselves a little bit. It just depends on how it's going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seattle just opened up that 7th slot in my eyes.
Yeah, they
Agreed.
really did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Who's their quarterback right now?
Gino.
Gino.
Geno Smith is still playing in this league.
Oh, hell
Yes.
yeah. He came in last Thursday when Russ got hurt.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know he
Yeah.
was still around. Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah, get that check, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Mike Glennon and Geno Smith are both
Starting. Wow. Yeah.
both. Well,
It's-
I
it's-
think they're gonna. What did they do? I don't know how they got Danny Dimes out of concussion protocol, because that guy, he couldn't
Wait,
even.
he's out?
Yep,
yeah, he's gonna play this
he's
week.
gonna
Yeah.
play.
Woo! And no Saquon. That's going to be interesting for them.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be bad news for Danny Dimes. But
Yeah, they play the
Yeah.
Rams. That's no bueno for them.
Ooh.
yeah, he's gonna get probably
Somebody
put back
does.
into concussion protocol. Yeah, so I'm just surprised Geno is still around. I guess it's the Josh Johnson, thing where he's still playing, I think, in this league somewhere. So
Yeah, that's true. That's just it boggles my mind. I guess it's going to be interesting to see. I think he ran for a first down too in that game.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I guess it's we have one too in Blaine Gabbert. He's still in this league. Still doing
Yo, but
great.
Blaine Gabbert's throwing dimes though.
Oh yeah, man, he's legit. When he gets in the game, man, it's
Hey, it's game
man,
over. He's
yes.
undefeated as the Bucs quarterback when he plays.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dude's a legend.
there we go. Ramona K is talking about Nick Chubb. He's actually out for the Cleveland
He
Browns this
is.
week, so he's
Kareem
not
Hunt
going
owners, myself rejoice.
Yeah, Kareem's gonna have a big game.
Yeah, he's going to eat. But yeah, I have to agree with you guys. Alvin Kamara is the most complete running back in the NFL.
Complete. I think that's the key word because McCaffrey you can do so much with him, but
Mhm.
Kamara can be traditional and give you that extra wide receiver capabilities.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't matter how they use him. He's going to produce, and he's consistently produced. So as much as I hate New Orleans, you got to give the devil his due. You heard me say that a lot. I've actually given credit where I normally would trash somebody. I'm in a good mood.
Trash him, Gene.
I'm in a good place right now. Now we got to work on our Chicago Bears hate because them guys. But anyway, okay. So I want to jump over to the AFC real quick. We're almost out of time here. Who are your top three? Let's do top five for the AFC. Let's make this fun.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. I haven't been paying attention to the AFC.
I can go ahead and start first then.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got Buffalo.
Well, yeah.
I got Cleveland. I got Baltimore. God, now it's getting tough now. Baltimore.
No LA Chargers?
Oh, you gotta throw I'm sorry, Chargers. The Chargers. And Ramona's gonna hate this one, but I think New England's gonna squirt in there somehow. I think New England might get in there at some,
Oof. It's weird seeing the Chiefs at the bottom. That's weird to me.
Yeah,
but yeah, to me, it's Bills, Chargers, and Browns for me. Even though I don't like Baker, I just can't trust the Ravens at 4-1. I think they're good. I just don't think they're that level yet with the Chargers and Bills.
Mr. Everything's Bucks, Chargers, Bills, Browns, Chiefs, and Ravens. I think the Chiefs are gonna miss it. Personally,
you think they're gonna miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God, Nick Wrong is gonna roll over in his grave.
Or
yeah,
Nick.
I mean, I'll say this. I think the Chargers and the Bills are 5 steps ahead of everyone else.
I agree.
And then it's then I would say it's the Browns, Ravens, and whoever you want to throw in there, the Chiefs, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see the Patriots make the playoffs. I don't think they're good enough. Inconsistent week to week. And, you'll have maybe the Raiders or someone like that. Broncos, maybe, it'll be.
I think the Raiders are now out of it. I mean, I know we discussed on Wednesday, but John Gruden,
right.
It's really hard to.
I really like Rich Bisaccia, so I feel like he might be able
to. Someone else.
Yeah,
and that's where I was gonna go with this. I feel like this team can rally around him.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he'll get them.
But since Bruce Arians, has any interim coach made the playoffs?
I'm trying to remember it. Yeah, I don't think so.
It's just super hard because
it is.
Tough. John Gruden just has handled those day-to-day as a head coach for so long. And then Rich, I love Rich to death. He's been the special teams coordinator his entire career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's a change. I just feel like he's got that energy. He's got that.
Oh, he does. I love Rich.
Yeah. And the team respects him. That's what I really can appreciate about it is that, everybody on that team respects him. And I think that he would be the guy that they would come in and play for.
That would be such a good story. I hope it works out like that.
Yeah. And I'll say one team I wouldn't count out. I know they've been up and down, especially with the way the quarterback's been playing, but I wouldn't count out the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oof. To me, it's the Titans is the team I don't want to count out.
Yeah, Titans as well. That's
You know what?
I would actually put them as like my fourth team, right behind the. I guess I said the Browns, so I put
Yeah.
them right there.
That's what I'm going to do. I totally forgot about the Titans.
Remember,
Yeah.
Julio
I'm gonna-
hasn't even like played yet.
They haven't been.
I want to. Yeah, that's my caveat right there. If you got Julio, I can see Tennessee, but you don't have Julio. Not so much.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry's about to break for like the second year in a row, or get near the most touches in a season. And man, this guy is borderline unstoppable. I think the Bucs are I think the only team to hold him under 100 yards, and God knows.
I think what did the Bucs held him to, like 75 yards?
Yeah,
right.
but I mean, like 25 of them though, Gene, were on one play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Titans, I think, haven't been healthy so far this year, and once they figure out their offense, and they're going to run away with that division, I think.
Oh,
Obviously.
that division's theirs.
Yeah, so obviously they're going to be in there. I think they could be a sneaky team, but I still feel like the Chargers right now and the Bills are just way ahead of everyone else. The way they're playing, Justin Herbert's playing MVP type level. Same thing with Josh Allen. I just really like their teams. I like the coaching staffs. They're on a different level than everyone else, and they're the clear front runners. I think you have to go through those teams to get to the Super Bowl.
Herbert is he's amazing. He's just an amazing player. I would love to see Cincinnati do something, but their organization is so fucked.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Well, I think Joe's going to get hurt again, unfortunately. Yeah. They just don't have the protection for him and can't really run the football like they should. And defensively, I think it's still up and down.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a while before they get all the pieces they need, to be honest. Joe Mixon cannot stay healthy. I mean, here's a guy that, when they drafted him, I thought, hey, this guy is going to be solid. He's shown what he can do, kind of like Dalvin Cook shows what he can do, but the best ability is availability. And if you're not on the field, I mean, what good are you, to be honest?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that whole 2017 draft class has kind of played out. I know everyone wanted Dalvin Cook over OJ Howard, and they've been kind of both, they've had obviously Cook's had more success, with just running the football, but both struggle with injuries so far in their careers.
I know that's just crazy to see that. Mm-hmm. And you see Dalvin Cook get off to a good start, and then boom, he runs into injury.
Turin James.
Yeah, exactly.
I was not going that direction, man. I'm trying to save my good karma up for taking a shot at the Dallas Cowboys or something.
The fun battle is when you compare Derwin James to Jordan Whitehead and who's been more productive. That's the real story.
Yeah. You need to do a video on that. Plus,
you really should.
Yeah, we probably will. It might be.
It's edgy. I like it.
That's
what I mean. Yeah, that's a headline grabber right there.
It might be something for the off season. But yeah, definitely. It's.
See, I thought I was a Whitehead head. I just didn't know I could ever put him in the same breath as Derwin. But if you can make that argument, I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers; it's close.
Yeah. And I, as much as I like, I'm going to be honest. I like Derwin James. I like Vita Vea better, but I like Derwin James. And he went to the right spot for him. I mean, that was a rock solid.
Imagine if Mike Smith had Derwin. Imagine him just staying, playing Chris Conti half the field yards, the entire 20 time. 20 yards off the field. Yep.
Jeez Louise, that would be ugly.
It'd be the Jabril, what was that? Jabril Peppers.
Jabril Peppers.
Where he's like 40 yards back or whatever.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mike Smith got out at the right time. Good for him. I hope he's having a great life.
He's probably still getting paid.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Remember, the Bucs made him the highest paid coordinator in the league after 2017.
That's crazy. Yeah, didn't we just do the same with Todd Bowles, if I'm not mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
but we're getting production. We're getting production.
Mm-hmm.
So it just it'll get better. And guys, please don't jump out the window. One thing that I'm going to say, we're getting ready to wrap this up, but don't forget the Bucs are 5-1. The Bucs are defending world champions. Let's enjoy this. That Tampa is doing things that they haven't done So let's enjoy this. And with that being said, KB, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, and we're going to go ahead and roll up out of here.
Bucs_Barrett on Twitter.
And he's not invisible like Shaq Barrett either. You can find him. Just FYI.
I am invisible like Shaq Barrett, so I only come out when he gets a sack, and then I come hunt down everyone. What's that that creature on Halloween that does that? Who comes out? Oh, what's the Candyman? Whenever you say his name so every time Shaq makes a sack is when I just come out.
Hey, we're in the Halloween spirit. Why not?
That's pretty fun.
What's the next video you're going to drop for us?
Well, hopefully game film comes out soon so I can, we can get some videos out. We had a lot of videos dropped yesterday of the Dolphins game, so apologize that it's been every Thursday, but it's just the way our schedule works. But we're going to try to get the Eagles game film up. Going to try to get some more college prospect videos, get that going, and try to get more involved with the draft. I know it's early to talk draft. We're not even thinking about the draft because, again, the Buccaneers are
me and KB 2025 draft already.
But the Bucs are 5-1. They're in first place. So, like everyone said, let's be happy and enjoy this. Bucs are 5-1 for the third time in franchise history, I think. So it's pretty good to be a Bucs fan. But where you can find the work, it's at Real Bucs Talk. Just go on YouTube, search that in, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and see all the great videos we got going on. And Mondays live stream every Monday 9 p.m.
Never miss it.
Check us out.
All right, KB.
Bucs_Barrett. Unless Shaq Barrett gets a sack or you call him invisible, then I come out and find you.
Okay, there we go. Hey guys,
Smack Apparel. Thanks for all the great work that you do.
And
Bucs
all the
Report,
amazing
y'all are
t-shirts.
awesome.
Thank you, Bucs Report, and Bucs What You Heard.
There we go. Hey guys, 5-1. The Bucs are 5-1. Let's sit back and enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. All the years of misery that we've suffered as a fan base. Enjoy this. You don't worry about who's playing or who's not playing. The Bucs go out there and they found ways to win. You've got a quarterback that can find ways to win, and he's got the team buying into this. I expect to see him in the Ring of Honor at some point, and I'll argue that with anybody that wants to argue that with me, because he is by far the best quarterback that's ever entered into Buccaneer lore, and that includes my beloved Doug Williams and of course Brad Johnson. But I would still have to put Tom Brady head and shoulders above the rest, just based on what he was able to do. So we're getting to see this. You're getting to see this. You get to see the greatest player of all time, and you get an opportunity to do that. Please do. That's very, 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 very important. Poor Ramona K. Just become a Bucs fan. You're in St. Pete. You don't have to stay with Miami. I don't even think disco was in style the last time Miami won a Super Bowl. So come on over here and just get your Bucs. You got a t-shirt. Come on over and join us.
But she's branding you, Gene. You need to start a hockey podcast. Talk What You Heard.
That was Shooter. Baby. Yeah, I tried to rename Shooter's show Puck What You Heard, but he wasn't having
Where's
it.
Shooter been? Remember, Shooter used to always be in the chat. What happened to him? Did you scare him off? Did you block him?
No. I think he's in witness protection, from what I heard. And I know where he's at. And for a price, I can share that with you guys. But anyway, the weekend's here. Everybody get out and have a good time. Plus, counting down the time where me and you get to hang out and really get to show you the town. So
yes, looking forward to it. And everyone enjoy their weekend because the Bucs don't play on Sunday, so you can enjoy the games and
you can make fun of everybody else.
Exactly, it's a fun time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're out of here. And guys, thank you so much. Everybody have a good weekend.